I'm Stacy Haver. I'm the Executive Director of the Legal Aid Society of San Mateo County, and I'm so happy to be with you all here today in person to celebrate Justice for All. It's wonderful to be back together again. I'd like to invite, hi Bob. I'd like to invite the recipient of this year's Corey Gemello Award, Hope Nakamura, up to the podium. Joe Cachette and Cachette Petrie and McCarthy established this award to honor George Corey and Linda Gemello, leaders of the legal aid of the San Mateo County legal community, who are also shared a deep commitment to the values and mission of the Legal Aid Society of San Mateo County. I'm sad that Justice Gemello couldn't be with us today. She says she thinks this might be the first annual luncheon she's ever missed. Corey, Luzeich, DeGataldi, and Riddle, and Cachette Petrie and Petrie and McCarthy are, of course, well represented. So we've got everybody here today, and thank you so much for your steadfast support for the Legal Aid Society of San Mateo County. The George R. Corey Linda M. Gemello Award is presented each year to, as Joe has said, to assist these incredible people who work every day for justice for all. Hope Nakamura has been doing just that since she started her career at Legal Aid more than 30 years ago. Had the mother that Hannah Gordon talked about come to Legal Aid, Hope would have helped her. She's the one that would have made that work in a couple of months, not 10 years. Hope's been working for all that time to ensure that the lowest income San Mateo County residents get the safety net benefits they need to survive. Since she started her career, she's been doing that work with the basic safety net benefits, starting out with working on behalf of general assistance recipients who were threatened with having their benefits cut simply because they were homeless. She brought a class action lawsuit to help them. And that's just one example of many challenges she's made to regulations that made safety net benefits inaccessible to those that they were supposed to help. One of the defining characteristics of Hope's career has been the fluidity and flexibility with which she's shifted her practice and her legal strategies in response to changes in community needs and to the law. When welfare reform swept the country in the 1990s, Hope was there serving on a San Mateo County committee, an advisory committee on welfare redesign. At the same time, she was representing individual single mothers who were told that they had to quit their education programs and take minimum wage jobs or risk losing the benefits they needed to feed their children. In 2010, Hope worked with community agencies to design and build the Libre project, which you'll hear more about later. And Libre was really formed in response to a growing need. The fact that immigrant parents were afraid to seek Medi-Cal and food benefits to keep their children safe and healthy because they were afraid of the immigration consequences. And there were many myths going around and a lot of misinformation being circulated. And the Libre Project is a very strong community-based effort to counteract some of that mythology. More recently, Hope was a leader in the advocacy efforts locally and statewide when the previous administration threatened to change and propose new regulations around public charge to punish immigrants who took advantage of safety net benefits to which they were entitled. And without Hope and Libre, the response out of San Mateo County would have been much weaker. As hard as she's worked for her clients, Hope's brought the same energy and talent to her work on behalf of the legal services community generally and to the Legal Aid Society of San Mateo County. She's mentored and coached and trained generations of legal services lawyers around safety net benefits. At the Legal Aid Society, she's always been willing to lend a hand. Always the first one to raise her hand and say, I'll help with that, whether it's a management challenge, strategic planning, or launching our race equity initiative. With her keen intellect, her incredible professionalism, her strength of character, and her deep, deep commitment to social justice, Hope has been a valued advisor, friend, and colleague for many years. Hope, it's been an honor serving alongside you, and it's a privilege to present you with, for 2022, George R. Corey, Linda M. Gemello.
Okay, I'm short too, but I'm wearing heels, so. And I have to read my speech. Okay, I'm honored to be recognized with this award. George Corey Justice Gemello and their friend Joe Cachet are shining examples of the San Mateo County Bar's commitment to assist the public in accessing legal services and to advance the fair and effective administration of justice for all. I would like to thank my spouse and my family for their love and support. I also appreciate my current and former colleagues with whom I've worked over these past 3 decades in San Mateo County. They have inspired me with their talent, their commitment to our cause, and their ability to maintain their humanity in the face of daily encounters with limited resources and unlimited client needs, especially during this COVID pandemic. There has always been a divide between the rich and the poor. I was keenly aware of this growing up in a single-parent household in Los Angeles with a mother who had an untreated disability. I think my life could have gone in many different directions were it not for my immigrant grandparents, an uncle, a few socially aware teachers, and a few lucky breaks. I crossed over the divide, in no small part because of the abilities, hard work, and luck of my spouse. But that is not why I work at Legal Aid. It's because I believe that everyone, regardless of their good fortune, bad luck, or unfortunate decisions, deserves the dignity of having a roof over their head, food, and medical care. I think of a client I'll call Betty, who came to Legal Aid because the county was about to cut off her CalFresh or food stamps benefits. Although Betty was trained in the sciences in Iran and was married, by the time I met her, she was divorced and raising her children without any support from her father. She was unable to find a job in her prior profession. Maybe her English was not good enough or her skills outdated. Maybe it was discrimination, I don't know. But she worked 2 part-time jobs as a bookkeeper to support her children. I helped her appeal several attempts to discontinue or lower her benefits over the years, usually because her part-time job at her son's school gave her some overtime, so the worker thought that her income was too high to remain eligible, or because the agency wanted her to get proof from the school that she was not working during school breaks when the school was closed. The point is that the county's actions were frequently incorrect, and I had to intervene because Betty did not understand the often complex rules around what part of one's income counts to determine eligibility and what verifications are really necessary to prove it. But she knew that she needed to feed her boys so that they could concentrate on school instead of feeling hungry. Years later, both kids have gone on to college and one is in medical school. I still think of her situation and her success and continue to be inspired by the strength and resilience of our clients. I also do this for a selfish reason. It makes me happy. You might have heard about the most popular class nicknamed Happiness 101 at an elite college on the East Coast. If you haven't, you should Google it. Professor Santos has studied the disconnect between what we think will make us happy and what actually makes us happier in the long run. While having enough money to provide a basic standard of living is a given, making tons of money and buying lots of stuff doesn't make us as happy as we think it will. What makes us happy is feeling connected to one another and doing things for other people. One of her studies shows that if I gave you $5 to buy your favorite coffee, or maybe it's $10 now, it doesn't really make you as happy as you thought it would. But using that $5 to buy a coffee for a friend truly makes you happier. You know where this is going, right? So there have been a lot of pitches today about making a personal contribution, and I would urge you to do that because it will make you and us a lot happier. Thank you.